Hello and a warm welcome to SAP TechEd Session DT100 transitioning to SAP Cloud ERP. I'm Roland and I'm a product manager for delivery and quality topics within SAP's S4HANA Private Cloud Edition development organization. At the beginning, I just want to make some short housekeeping remarks. So feel free to and feel invited to ask your questions via the Q&A feature of the session browser. And my experts colleagues will do their best to answer them in parallel to my presentation. My biggest thanks goes in advance, of course, to them. As the session tries really to cover a lot of, let's say, aspects of a very complex topic, the session is pretty packed with a lot of content for the given time frame. And therefore, I will try to keep some pace in my presentation. And I will also try to take remaining questions actually at the end of that session in the Q&A section. So please take care to remember to take advantage of the session recording, the slide deck, of the links which I provided in that presentation, which will be available shortly after that session. So with that, let's start. So it's my pleasure to speak in the first part of the session about what makes SAP S4HANA so different from the classical SAP ERP 6.0 family. So that with this understanding as a background, I can explain more easily in the second part of the session the most important aspects, the concepts and tools you can use when you migrate your business processes to SAP S4HANA. So let's start with the most important technical and architectural facts of SAP S4HANA and why this makes this product different from the classical old SAP ERP 6.0 as part of SAP Business Suite 7 product family. So as you can see, licensed and legally wise, SAP S4HANA is a different product line. And the classical SAP Business Suite 7 versus SAP ERP 6.0 is still available as a separate product line with its own maintenance and timelines. Besides from this, SAP S4HANA Enterprise Management Solution is the next generation digital core from SAP. And that means that this product has been especially designed to take advantage from the innovative in-memory database technology from SAP HANA, which comes actually with a lot of interesting capabilities such as real-time processing. And you can do combined transactional processing in real time, and at the same time you can do analytical utilization of the same data. And it also gives us the possibility to drastically simplify the data model which we use for the technical representation of our business objects. This all leads actually to the fact that we have renewed our applications massively, that we are utilizing a new architecture and this new mentioned data model. And this comes together with a lot of other advantages like industry best practices, like generative AI, intelligent automation, insights and prediction and analytics area, and a UI technology, namely Fiori as a user experience, as a strategic user experience, digital assistance and natural language conversations. And this product is available in 2 cloud models and any on-premise deployment model. So these are basically the changes in architecture and the data model, which can have an impact. And on the other side, also SAP S4HANA as the cloud ERP system is a kind of a digital core which offers much more than just a next generation ERP. And that gives us a differentiation in the functional scope and also in a resulting different solution landscape, which I will explain on the next slide. So on that picture, you see, actually, when you look on the left-hand side, the SAP ERP system surrounded by the other products of the SAP Business Suite 7, such as customer relationship management, supply chain management, warehousing, you name it, the different products. And when we now actually look into our modern solution, we see that some parts of the surrounding landscape have moved into the cloud, such as SuccessFactors, for instance, some parts of the HCM solution, like Digital Manufacturing Cloud, some other parts like guided buying and Ariba. But on the other hand, we have also a lot of those things embedded in the SAP S4HANA software stack, such as several backend functionalities from customer relationship management, like service management, some other parts actually for supply chain management, like APO and MRP. And we have a lot of other functionalities which have been, which you know from ERP. We have renovated and we have enriched this with SAP S4HANA product qualities, as I just mentioned on the former slide. And in the early beginnings of our releases, where we are still were in the renovation process, we have also, let's say, copied a lot of classical functionality into the S/4HANA product to allow you actually that all your business processes which you have used to run in an ERP system are also able to run on an S/4HANA system. That are the so-called compatibility packs. You see a hyperlink which leads you to more information on that one. And of course, we have also some long-tail products which we are not going to continue. These are so-called deprecated items, which means you see here the differences in architecture and the data model, as well as in the way how we tailor our solutions. And this is all documented by so-called simplification items, also here watch on the hyperlink. Also here you can see the whole SAP S/4HANA modular application portfolio. So that is basically the solution landscape you can use. And you see actually the dark gray area, which provides actually all the functionality which you get in the product with a standard license, with the enterprise management license. The lighter gray parts, which are actually installed in SAP S/4HANA, but require a different license and price list items, and the surrounding products. So all this gives you a new solution landscape, and the distribution of your solutions may be different to what you know from SAP Business Suite 7. Which leads you actually to the fact that when you do plan your transformation to SAP S/4HANA and your SAP S/4HANA based scientific solution landscape, you should always start with the transition of the classical ERP application SAP S/4HANA, then successfully transform your current solution landscape based on the Business Suite 7 into a landscape around SAP S/4HANA, very likely hybrid landscape with SAP S/4HANA as a digital core. And the SAP Transformation Navigator tool provides you assistance and guidance, actually, how you can map your business into this new system landscape. And as a result of this roadmap, actually, you can then migrate data and processes between the systems. So, as mentioned, SAP S/4HANA has different offerings, different product flavors. We have SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud for customers who desire a complete and modern native software as a solution ERP system with full benefits of a classical public cloud, which means fast path to innovation and lowest TCO, standardization, a clean cloud ERP solution, and the ability to reimagine your business processes and take advantage of standardized best practices. We have the SAP S/4HANA Private Cloud for customers which desire a gradual transformation to a software as a service solution landscape in their own pace, with well-defined methodologies to migrate. Software that support the technically managed service and infrastructure you get from a single point of contact with one set of SLAs. We have the full set of S/4HANA functionality with all the industry and country-related localizations. And this gives you the ability to safeguard your prior investments, also including things you have done in ECC in terms of customizing, configurations, add-ons you have maybe installed and still continue you want to use, and also including solution extensions and certified solutions. And finally, for those customers who still require complete control and ownership, we have still the on-premise or so-called on-premise product flavor. Now let's have a look on the transition options of S/4HANA and the related tools. So typically, it depends actually what kind of approach you want to use. We have on the one hand, we have the approach that you try to reuse as much as possible. The business driver for that would be actually that you just want to do a modernization of existing business processes, but the business processes would be actually good enough. And the transition option for this would be the system conversion. And target for this one could be the SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition or SAP S/4HANA Any-Premise. On the other hand, that means the other complete different approach would be re-engineering with the following data migration. It means here you have the bandwidth between a highly standardized re-implementation of your business processes up to a customer-tailored one. Let's start with the first one. So your business driver would be business model innovation. You would do this via a new implementation, and you have only any choices to use any of our product flavors. Would it be S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, Private Edition, or SAP S/4HANA Any-Premise? And something in between would be the selective data transition, where you selectively just only change some of the business processes while trying to keep actually those business processes will still support your business. The transition path for this is possible into SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition and SAP S/4HANA Any-Premise. When we look actually for the way into SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud, we offer a rapid implementation methodology, the so-called SAP Accelerated SAP. This is a methodology along some phases, which different phases like discovery assessment, we have the DDA assessment, we have then the core implementation, the fit to standard analysis. So you start with best practice content. You use the central business configuration for configuring your business processes. You fine-tune your business processes. Then you do the data migration using the data migration cockpit. You test actually the result of this with test automation and process intelligence. And then you actually have the possibility to optimize your system. All this actually leads to the fact that when you implement the cloud style, you have a lower TCI, total cost of implementation, total cost of ownership, with dramatic value, which are delivered very quickly, as you can see on the figures shown here as an example on the lower part of that slide. So transition to SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition, there are some criteria influencing the choice of your transition scenarios, which you can see here. The future readiness of your business process, whether your system, your current system supports your daily business and your future business you have envisioned, or if you have actually the need for fundamentally for redesign your master data, your org structures. So it means whether you actually perceive your system as a key asset or as an information blocker. Data quality plays a role, the way actually how you want to use or need to continue to use custom code, some technical restrictions, and of course actually the need for keeping historical data or not. When we look on the transition to SAP S/4HANA Private Cloud, for instance, or any premise, you could do the same thing. You could decide which business process transformation should occur, and you see there are different possibilities. When you do a system conversion, you can actually limit it, your first project, to just a technical uplift. You can then go live, and you can do any planned innovations later. You can put parts of this innovation into this initial project that you can realize some value already with your first project, and then do actually other kinds of innovation on your innovation roadmap later in independent digestible portions. Or you can do still a big installation in the terms that you take all the envisioned innovations into the same project, which you wouldn't necessarily always want to do if you do actually a new implementation or to some extent or a selective data transition with a very individual scope. Because here in those later two areas, actually, you're always forced actually to scope with a full product of business, the full scope of your business process, and you have to have them ready actually from when you want to go live. Having that said and talked about actual value creation, you see it's important fact for what we think actually also when you do a transition at HANA that you also have the possibility actually to put value into that move. So value you can create by adding digital age user experience, automation, new business models, or let's say analytics. And so only while you move to SAP S/4HANA, when you leverage the new technical and genuine S/4HANA innovations, these creates really a value in that project. So you should actually involve your system, supporting it from your daily routines to actually that your system supports intelligent processes that can better support your business. And as this picture here shows on the lower left, on the lower left-hand side, you see if you invest in automation, actually your cost of operation will go down drastically, so you can spend more time actually in inventing advanced analytics, maybe actually backward-looking analytics to better understand actually the results of your business, or actually using predictive insights where you can use the simulation features actually to better steer and control your business and optimize your business. However, if you want to do so, you need to know, especially in the case of on-premise and private cloud only, SAP Fiori and SAP GUI are both supported in those products. However, whenever you think about new innovative features, they are only realized for SAP Fiori apps. So in order to use innovations, you have to invest in Fiori. The relevant readiness analysis recommends you SAP Fiori apps based actually on your current business processes you're using, so you can analyze your system and we give you recommendations where you can innovate in that area. The deployment for the SAP Fiori infrastructure is always embedded, and of course you can do a stepwise implementation of Fiori apps. This is possible. So let's have a look on the data migration process when we look on the new implementation scenario. So a new implementation scenario means first you implement the new business processes, you configure the business processes, ideally with pre-configured content we make available in terms of best practice content on a very innovative platform. And once you actually have configured and validated your business process, you migrate your master data and then you can retire your older system landscape. The tool of choice which SAP offers actually for the data migration is SAP S/4HANA Migration Cockpit, which offers you the possibilities to select actually predefined migration objects which you can still model and also, let's say, tailor it to your custom requirements. You have the possibility to actually then to get the data, map and transform the data. We offer simulation features where you can test and check whether this mapping and transferring works in the right way. And once you're satisfied with the result, you do the real migration, and you can do this in any kind of our product flavors. So the data migration is one key task during this transition to SAP S/4HANA. And you should make clear that you understand the requirements towards the data quality and the cleanity of the data in time. You can get help here with this overview presentation about the data migration cockpit, the data migration application help, and you can also see here what kind of migration objects we have already available as predefined objects. So talking about the system conversion as another transition approach, you see here on that slide a lot of tools where you also see hyperlinks. So these are actually related resources and tools you can utilize. And as you can see here, the technical conversion of a system is something which where we offer a lot of tools. So it's basically the best prepared approach and the quickest approach, because we have a lot of tools which analyze your situation, enhance, help you actually to plan, identify the necessary action you have to take. We have tools which help you in preparing the system. We have tools which lead you to the technical conversion process as such. Also actually helping you with your custom code and adapting the custom code to new needs and so on and so forth. So this slide provides a lot of information which I cannot cover in the shortness of our presentation here. However, you see there are a lot of hyperlinks which you can use actually to educate you further in the different areas. Another tool which we just recently launched at SAP Sapphire this spring is the SAP Business Transformation Center. It's a comprehensive guided process for data migration and transformation that helps actually you to accelerate your data migration. It lowers the total cost of this project. It's a solution which is enabled by a SAP Cloud ALM. It's embedded in SAP Cloud ALM. And if you want to know more about this, actually, you see here more information on a SAP support portal, or you can also put a request towards our product and solution management. We will do a more massive rollout of this tool, which is planned within these days and during TechEd. So watch out actually for more information on the Business Transformation Center. With that, I also want to introduce you into a very important tool. It's the SAP Readiness Check for SAP S/4HANA. It's a check which helps you actually to see the necessary things you have to undertake and the actions you have to take and identify them. And it gives you also, let's say, quantities in that area. So it's a holistic system analysis, which is the foundation of any further planning steps. You should utilize this, and you should also take this actually to check your project plan and offers you then also a smooth transition to SAP S/4HANA. There are a lot of tools, inside the SAP Readiness Check, checking the different aspects of your migration project, such as actually the relevance of simplification items, which you have actually to work on in installed add-ons in the system, the compatible add-ons, the necessary successor add-ons if they are available. It gives you technical aspects of this. It helps you in the area of identifying recommended Fiori apps. It helps you actually to check about analytics, the BW extractors which will work, the iDocs. It helps you in analysis of your custom code. And last but not least, it helps you also actually to find out if you are using compatibility scope or not. More about this tool. You will find on the help portal via these links and via these 2 notes which explain actually usage of this tool in the different scenarios, like the conversion to SAP S/4HANA, but also actually when you do release upgrades inside S/4HANA releases. So to summarize, SAP Readiness Check tool summarizes the most important aspects of the conversion and upgrade in an easy and consumable way. So that leads me finally to the key takeaways. While you move to SAP S/4HANA, real value is only created by leveraging the new technical and genuine SAP S/4HANA innovations, as already mentioned. It's important that you understand the SAP strategy around compatibility scope and our innovation roadmaps. Also here you see the hyperlinks, and incorporate this into your plan and into your innovation roadmap. So you need to plan a long-term innovation strategy, not only this initial migration project in bringing your SAP ECC to SAP ERP. As we have seen, this is only part of your solution landscape. Plan the transition project as a joint project, which means the technology part as well as the business part, the application, right from the beginning. The SAP Readiness Check provides an overview and planned baseline about the important topics you need to take care, as well as the rated efforts and the required skills. Data consistency is important. Start early with the preparation cleanup activities that can already be done in your current SAP ERP implementation. And especially true for if your destination is on-premise and private cloud, SAP Fiori and SAP GUI are both supported. However, new innovation features are realized through SAP Fiori apps, as already mentioned. And that's basically my key takeaways. And please note the slide deck contains many hyperlinks leading you to further information. So with that, I just want to make a note here about actually where you find more information. So here are some great learning offerings to complement your conference, and find all the great content at learning.sap.com/teched. With that, actually, I'm at the end of my presentation, and I would be ready to take remaining questions.
Live Q&A.
Okay, so let's see. There are 3 questions as far as I can see. There's a question from an Indian colleague, which I would have probably pronounced the name. What is the suggestion from SAP about various implementation approaches? You have seen I have provided some slides which I have presented pretty quickly. But in principle, as you remember, there are some things actually where you decide whether your system is still available actually to cover your business processes. If you're successful with the way the business processes are covered, your data quality, your need for application. So please look on that slide. So you find always a tailored approach for that one. A question from Mandeep. Can the migration code be used to migrate SAP S/4HANA on-premise to SAP S/4HANA Cloud? In principle, if you plan a new implementation, that means that would always be a new implementation. So in theory, you can migrate data from an S/4HANA on-premise to a SAP S/4HANA Cloud. You have to watch out about the different product scope. Actually, S/4HANA Cloud has typically at the moment a more limited scope on about product-wise, so you should use a digital discovery assist to find out whether the scope fits. But in principle, yes, you could take this tool to migrate data. Please be aware that you can only migrate master data and open items, but not actually historical data or transactional data for that one. And there's a last question from Daniel. What tool do you have to support the migration of historical data to SAP S/4HANA from legacy systems? In principle, this is a tricky topic. Historical data is usually created actually with a certain customization in the background. So you have to have a deep understanding about the way how your business processes have been customized in the past, that they've created this data. You have to have an idea actually about the customization of your business process in the target system, and you have to find a mapping for this. That's why we typically do not offer a ready tool for this, so the migration cockpit is not suitable for this one. But we offer different expert services from SAP, which you can use where we help you analyze your data, the data quality, we help you with cleansing the data, and also offer you then also tooling in terms of, let's say, consulting services or consulting, which help actually where we can migrate the tools, where you can migrate the data. But we do not have any tool which you can pick out of the shelf and can use it for that one. So with that, as I can see, there are no more questions. However, if you feel the need for this, actually, you may send those questions later, and we will look this in an email. So thank you for attending the session, and that will conclude my session. So I wish you also a pleasant TechEd.